Everyone has a dream that they think about from time to time, whether something they want, a life they want to live, or people they want to live with. Everyone has something they want to do. See, mine is pretty simple. I one day want to make a film. It's a pretty understandable goal and something that I'm going to pursue. James Nguyen, I think that's about it. His was the same exact thing, and he went out and he did it. See, when I first started watching Birdemic, all I could think was, wow, this is ass. This movie is very bad. So I did a little bit of research. Well, I second monitored it for about 10 seconds, and I read a brief synopsis on the movie and its budget, and I saw the movie in a completely different light. This isn't a film someone made to make money. This isn't a film someone made to further their career. This is a movie someone made because they just wanted to make a movie. James Nguyen, something. He made this film just on raw passion alone. He funded it entirely through his day job, the whole $10,000 he was able to get, and credit cards and loans that he took out to make it. It took him about 4 years to produce, but he still did it. And that's crazy. This is just some random guy. He had no formal film training, and the only thing he'd done previously was another movie that was really, really bad as well, but he still made it. And keep in mind, this is quite an ambitious idea for a film, and extremely hard to capture unless you have a large budget. So with $10,000, how is he going to be able to? And the solution was, he doesn't. This film is not a real movie. It's a symbolic representation of this man's dream and his will to complete it, regardless of what he got at the end. He still chose to make it regardless of how bad it was coming out, regardless of how terrible the reviews would be. He sat down, he made this movie, and I think it's safe to say that he doesn't regret it. Birdemic may be the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life, but James Nguyen and his story to make it is something far superior to any film that I've seen so far. Okay, so to actually start, I'm going to give a quick synopsis. So basically this guy and a woman he met a week ago try to survive as birds attack the world because they're mad at climate change. That's the entire film. It takes about an hour and a half to convey that story, and it does it very poorly, very slowly, and with terrible, terrible acting. My likes: the climate change problem, the theme of it, the whole thing about how climate change is bad for the world, that's a real thing. That is something really terrifying and real that is happening, so it definitely gives you that sense of, okay, so this movie's actually talking about a serious topic. My dislikes, however, are everything else. This movie is so unbelievably bad, it makes me scream. I am so upset that I had to sit down and watch this movie. It is so it's really hard to explain what's wrong with it because just everything is. The cinematography is shaky. It's barely put together. It'll shoot angles that you can't really tell what's happening. The story is so lame and so slow, and there's characters that come and go, and there's nothing to do with them. Plot points are seemingly dropped. It's an and then story. This happens, and then this happens, instead of this happens because this happens. You watch it and you have pretty much no idea what's happening the entire time. The audio, I think I did a better job at mixing my audio in my short film, The Cage, than this film did, period. Which is crazy because that was my first real experience with actually mixing audio for a short film and for dialogue, and I think I did it better than this entire film did at any point. The audio mixing in this movie is unbearable. You genuinely cannot pay attention to what's happening because the audio mixing is just, you can't hear what's going on, or it'll cut out, or it'll shift. It's so bad. The visual effects are just stunning. It's beautiful. It's truly beautiful. I just love the VFX in this movie. There's something else. The gunshots. Oh my god, it's so great. I just can't. Oh, I love this movie so much. Yeah, so if you couldn't tell, I hated this film. It is so bad. It is the worst movie I have seen so far, and I think when it comes down to actual movies, feature-length films I've sat down and watched, I think this is the worst one I've ever seen. I would say my favorite scene is genuinely when the credits start to roll, because you are freed from this atrocity of a train wreck that is Birdemic, shock and terror. So yeah, I've been harping on it a lot. It's not a very good film at all. Very, very terrible. But again, there's that sense of something there. James Newgan, regardless of what people probably told him, regardless of how it was going, he still sat down and finished making this movie because he just wanted to make a film. And there's something commendable about that, regardless of how terrible this film is. And I just have to point that out because it does make the movie better in that regard. Because when you're watching it, you know that this wasn't made by some big corporation. This wasn't made by really a group of people who didn't really care about their producing. This was pretty much made by one guy who just really wanted to make a film, and he just went out and did it. Because, I mean, I always say, if you want to do something, just go out and try. I mean, I want to be a filmmaker, so I go out and I shoot short films. I'm currently in the middle of making another one. I do the things that I want to do, and that's how you should live your life. You shouldn't sit and say that you're gonna do something. You shouldn't sit and say that one day this will happen. You go out and you make it happen. And I always harp on about that, and then I'll watch this movie and say it's a terrible movie, but he did exactly what I think. He's living by the values that I believe in, and that's what makes it such a heartwarming experience in that regard. Because you're watching it, you're sitting here, you're listening to the terrible audio, you're seeing the terrible VFX, but all I can picture is James Newgan writing it and sitting behind you, watching you watch the film, and kind of laughing along with you at the absurdity of the entire thing. Because he definitely took this like a champ. He immediately was like, yeah, we're making a second one. He knew that this movie was so terribly regarded, but I don't think he really cares. He still made it, and then that's all that really matters to him. And he goes on and he's still making more. He made Birdemic 2 and Birdemic 3 with a smile on his face, most likely. So there's something severely commendable about that you just cannot move past. But yeah, Birdemic, absolute piece of shit movie. Unbelievably bad. But I'm not going to give it a 1 because of the background information. This is semi-biased, semi-reality, but James Negan, with the money in his pocket, the smile on his face, he went and he actually made a movie, and he made Birdemic, which is a lot more than what many people watching it could do. That's a lot more than I have done. I have not made a feature-length film yet, and I probably won't for years, but he went out and he just did it. So there is something about that just can make you happy. So for that, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. This movie is so bad. It's so terrible. It's so bad. It's so bad. I never want to watch it again. I never want to see the poster again. I don't want to see any clips again. I don't want to experience anything to do with this movie ever again in my entire life. This movie is so unbelievably atrocious. Holy crap. Yusuf, I hate you. This movie is so bad. Why? So yeah, don't watch Birdemic. That's about it. But there's something here that I just have to give it credit for, and I think is something beautiful about it. But the movie itself, no. No. A 2 out of 10 is gracious. So yeah, get the hell out of here. Goodbye.